Oh, good afternoon and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. Thank you for joining me. Today I said I was going to do something a little bit, well, it's not different, but it's repotting this large puffy pendulum Rothschildianum. It's been in this pot quite a few years, so I think it's time we took it out of the pot and had a look at the roots. We'll give it a good squeeze. Compost doesn't look too bad, but you never know until you get down there. There's a little bit of deterioration in the compost, so it needs doing. And this clear pot is the right size for it, I think. Let's get it out of here first. Oops, here it goes. Yeah, it's in bark and large prep. It's a bit dry too. Good heavens, that came off easy. And there's the roots, so there's no new growth on it, so what I'll do, I'll just switch off and I'll take all the bad roots off it and show you what's what. Well, I've taken all the dead roots off, and there wasn't many of them, probably just a handful, that's all. And you can see it's just coming into new root growth in 2 or 3 places. So this is right for repotting. It should do it a power of good and force it into flowering. How's that? 2 nice plants there as well, but it's too good a plant, this one, the Rothschildianum, to split, so I'm leaving it as it is. So I'll get some new bark, some grow stones, and we'll pot it up. This is the new bark I'll be using, and it's a little bit bigger than the last one. And I'm doing this because the roots are quite thick and they're quite big, and it'll give more space to the roots and more air to the plants. So we'll get a handful of this new substrate, put it in, make sure the plant will be at the right depth. Yeah, that doesn't look so bad. So we'll just push it up again. There it is, all potted up again and not looking any worse for worse. Hoping it'll do it some good. Generally a change of compost does help to just give them a little bit of a boost. And I'll show you the label, what the plant is. Leave it long enough so you can read it. Don't know what GM /J or GA is. If anybody knows, please let me know. Well, that's about all for this plant, so we'll see what the next one is. Now the next one to repot, it's been in this pot, I can't tell you, for a few years. I bet there's still some rock wool under there, and this is the plant. Phragmipedium grande 4N. So let's just take it out of the pot. In fact, I don't think I'll be able to take it out of the pot. It's just wedged in. Wow. This is going to be difficult. I'll just switch off and cut the plastic and. Well, I've smashed the pot up, so let's see if we can get the plant out. Not coming yet. Here it comes. Oh, there we are. Shush. Now, what I have to do now is clean all that up, ready for its new medium. Yeah, it's wet through. Yeah. So I'll just poke away at that for a bit and I'll come back to you. Well, I've been at this for the last half hour and well, you can see the size of the roots to my hand. My hand's not small, but look. Hasn't started in new root growth yet. There's a lot of horticultural forming here. I'll do what I can with it anyhow, but a hell of a job. Wish I'd never started now, but it had to be done. Well, this is the bark I'll be putting the grandy in. It's a little bit finer than I use for the puffy pendulums, simply because the Phragmipediums like to keep wet, so a finer bark, and the puffy pendulums like to dry out quickly, so I use a bigger bark. And the puffy pendulums also like good air movement, whereas the frags aren't really bothered about it. We've got a slightly bigger pot, and at the bottom I've put some large chunks of bark just for drainage, because the holes at the bottom of here are quite large, and that should fit in there quite nicely. Yep, that's beautiful. So what we'll do, I'll have to start filling up from the bottom, I think, here. Just make sure we get loads of compost in here. I've trimmed the roots so I make the plant a little bit shorter. So now I'll put all this in. Well, I'm sure you don't want to see us potting up again, so I'll just switch it off. Well, there's the plant now. We finished repotting it, and it's a Phragmipedium 4N Grande, and with plenty of nice new growth on. Here you can see the old growth that it's flowered from before. There's two dead spikes there. Come round to the other side. Nice new growth there, nice new growth there, and at the front side, which is giving it room to grow, there's two nice growths there. So that should be alright. The only thing I need to do now is give it a good watering. So that was the biggest job I think I've ever had. That it was even bigger than sowing that dendrobium up. Anyhow, it's done now and it won't need doing again for a few years, so I'm glad that's all over. Well, that's about all for today, and There's sandria in them. I've just hung up in the greenhouse, and it's starting to show that the blooms are opening and the sepals are coming out. A bit twisted, so I hope they straighten up. Well, okay, thanks for watching. If you fancy subscribing, that'll be very nice. So until next time, I'll see you again later. Bye.